need to say anything. You know, the people who understand the greatness of it and, you know, have their own lives, that what happened happened.
Jake Paul has just dropped a bombshell about his Netflix fight with Mike Tyson. And trust me, this isn't your typical post-fight drama. Sure, the fight happened over a month ago, and most people have likely moved on, but not Jake. Why? Because sponsors are backing out, fans are giving him the side eye, and his reputation is on the line. In a bold move, Jake appeared on Logan Paul's podcast, slapped on a dramatic "coming clean" title, and spilled some jaw-dropping tea. According to him, it wasn't just a misunderstanding. He claims Mike Tyson was the mastermind behind the entire shady ordeal.
But I do have to be careful in the early rounds because
Honestly, if Tyson has $400 million in the bank compared to Jake's relatively modest $30 million pre-fight, why would he even bother? Fame? Please. This is Mike Tyson we're talking about. He doesn't need to step into the ring with a YouTuber to stay relevant. So, what's the real story here?
It's power, man, when you were in there.
I don't remember it.
You didn't even remember.
Let me tell you, but fair warning, if you take Jake's side in this, you might walk away with a whole new reason to dislike Tyson. So just do not.
people are like, oh, it's rigged because look at him on the pads, but he didn't do this in the fight. Because someone is fucking punching back, you dumb fucks. Like,
turns out Jake Paul knew exactly what he was getting into when he agreed to fight Mike Tyson. On Logan Paul's podcast, Jake openly admitted he wasn't delusional. He knew the fight would spark backlash no matter the outcome. And honestly, he leaned into it like a pro. This wasn't about winning or losing. It was all about the spectacle of a YouTuber going toe-to-toe with a boxing legend.
I realized my power.
That is true.
And my jab and my speed and my ability and my footwork to get out of the way of those punches. So then all of a sudden he's throwing at literally air.
Jake practically auditioned for the role of the bad guy, nailed it, and then cashed in on the chaos. Hate? That's just fuel for clicks, and clicks mean cash. If controversy were an Olympic sport, the Paul brothers would be draped in gold medals. But then Logan hit him with the question we've all been wondering but hesitated to ask. Was the fight rigged? Jake didn't deny it outright. Instead, he smirked and dropped this bombshell. Rigged fights are for people who need money. I don't need it. Maybe Mike did. One cryptic comment, and the internet went into overdrive. Jake didn't just spark the fire, he poured gasoline all over it.
Can't land those punches on you.
Let's break that down for a second. Jake didn't outright accuse Tyson of rigging the fight, but let's be real, the implication was as obvious as a punch to the face. He pointed the finger just enough to make you raise an eyebrow at Tyson, and honestly, Tyson's financial struggles haven't exactly been a secret.
Houses or drugs, girls?
Planes, it's stupid shit, but it was fun.
Right. You don't regret any? Do you regret anything?
Yeah, and I didn't pay taxes really at that time.
Sure, the man's a legend, but his career has had more twists and turns than a roller coaster, and his business ventures aren't exactly raking in millions these days. A comeback fight like this wasn't just about showing off his fists. It was about staying relevant, cashing in, and reminding everyone that he's still Iron Mike.
Where'd most of it go? Because I'm from Connecticut. I know where your house, your old house, 50 Cent's house now, right? Does he still own it?
I have no idea.
But that house, what had movie theaters? What else in it?
Everything.
Then Jake twisted the knife even further, suggesting, without saying it outright, that Tyson might have had to lose as part of the deal. Let that sink in for a moment. If there's any truth to that, it means Tyson risked his legacy for a bigger payday and a chance to stay in the spotlight. Meanwhile, Jake walks away as the guy who beat a boxing icon, while the internet is left to debate whether the fight was even legit.
I made a lot of money, the most money I've made ever. But
What are you gonna buy with the money?
probably a ranch.
Here's the kicker, though. Jake's comment wasn't random. It was a calculated move, plain and simple. By dropping that line about maybe Mike needed it, he shifted the focus off himself and squarely onto Tyson. It's classic Jake Paul. Create chaos, let the internet do the heavy lifting, and watch the views pile up. People love a good conspiracy theory, and Jake just handed them one on a silver platter.
With the way the night went down.
I wish he would have, like put up a better fight so then I could have like risen more and done more.
So why make a statement like that? If Jake had nothing to hide, maybe it was a preemptive strike. Perhaps he wanted to stay ahead of the narrative and ensure people didn't start pointing fingers at him first. Or maybe, and this is peak Jake, it was all about throwing Tyson under the bus, fully aware the drama would keep everyone talking for weeks. Whatever his motive, one thing's for sure. Jake doesn't make moves without knowing exactly how they'll play out.
Surviving,
He was.
So
annoying.
that was the only thing I didn't like.
So annoying when they don't bring the fight.
Sure, the hype was through the roof. Tyson's a living legend, and Jake Paul knows exactly how to stir up a crowd. But let's not kid ourselves. This wasn't just about the love of boxing. The deeper you look, the clearer it becomes. This fight was more about business, branding, and bank accounts. Honestly, when you piece it all together, it's hard not to see the strategy behind the chaos.
We signed on here to see you. You lit up Tyson 2.0. Last time we saw you in Vegas, you handed me a bag of your Mike Bites, the edibles. Fantastic. I loved them.
Let's start with Tyson's finances. The man earned over $400 million in his prime, only to declare bankruptcy in 2003. Since then, he's tried everything, from stand-up tours to selling weed gummies shaped like ears. But despite all the hustle, his recent ventures haven't exactly been gold mines. So, he puts out a post on Facebook and asks the following in case anyone was being weird. In case not, I don't know if I'm being gay or not. Let me inquise it with someone who knows me more than me. Enter Jake Paul, Netflix, and a $20 million payday for a retired athlete navigating financial struggles. That kind of cash isn't just tempting, it's life-changing. Tyson wasn't just stepping into the ring for sport, he was stepping into a marketing goldmine. Now, here's where it gets juicier. This fight wasn't just about Tyson making a quick buck. It was about putting himself back in the spotlight. Think about it. His name alone guaranteed global attention. And the fight wasn't just a match, it was a stage, to the extent that Tyson's career sprawled over the past 30 years. A wide-eyed look at the universe and say, hey, there's a big picture. Who's the professional out there fighting it?
You have no expectations. We have expectations. If I don't get 100 million views, fuck out of here, my neighbor! Right. These guys just want a piece of banana.
They want to eat, live.
They're so hungry. They're starving so much.
Tyson used the fight to promote his cannabis brand, Tyson 2.0, and teased an upcoming Netflix documentary series. It wasn't just a fight. It was a full-blown infomercial wrapped in a boxing match. If that doesn't scream calculated move, I don't know what does.
Oh, yeah. A little bow at the end. He bowed.
That's the last thing I remember.
Dude, there was a lot of people online that said that's when you should have hit him, when he was bowing down like that. That's when you
He's gonna hit me. That's why I was like, what the hell is he?
Now, let's talk about the whispers, the ones suggesting this fight might not have been entirely on the up and up. Jake Paul walked away with a unanimous decision win, and while there wasn't a knockout, there were plenty of moments that made fans raise an eyebrow. Some believe Tyson might have agreed to lose for the payday and exposure. After all, his legacy is secure at this point. Losing to Jake Paul isn't going to erase decades of dominance, but it sure generated enough buzz to keep the cash flowing.
for us. We're like, dang, we wanted more. Is there anything about the fight you would have changed based on the experience?
Oh, not at all. Listen, I wouldn't have realized any of it if it went 3-minute rounds. I didn't realize it.
With the little bow at the end, he bowed. That's the last thing I expected. A lot of people online said that's when Jake should have hit him, when Tyson was bowing like that. Jake was confused too, wondering what the heck was going on. And then there's Netflix. This wasn't just another boxing event, it was a spectacle designed for streaming. Netflix reportedly attached performance bonuses based on viewership and engagement, high stakes for everyone involved. Tyson's name guaranteed viewers, and Jake Paul's internet-breaking antics ensured the fight would go viral. For Netflix, it was a gamble that paid off. For Tyson and Jake, it was a massive payday and a chance to dominate the headlines. As for the fans, well, let's just say they might have been the only ones left questioning whether this was legit.
Yeah, it was a real fight.
What did you think of Jake's power, man, when you were in there?
I don't remember it.
You didn't even remember it. I heard
But my body was really sore.
it was toward the next.
But here's where things take a turn. After the fight, Tyson appeared on Fox Sports Radio, and his comments were, to say the least, puzzling. When asked about key moments in the fight, he claimed he kind of blanked out. Blank out in a fight you were paid millions to headline? It gets better. When asked about holding back punches, Tyson didn't deny it. He completely dodged the question, offering vague and almost dismissive responses. And when pressed if he had watched the footage back, he flat out said, "No, I have not." For a man who spent his life analyzing his performances, this sudden amnesia seemed suspicious, to say the least.